Most people start using Obsidian by writing notes and then they get stuck not because Obsidian is hard, but no one ever explain what to do after first few notes. You hear advice like just link your notes, so you add few links and open the graph view and even feel more confused than before because linking is not about making your graph view look cool, it's about making notes work together. Once you understand how and why to link notes, your note stop feeling isolated and start building on each other. And in this video, I will show you exactly how beginners should link notes in Obsidian, what to link, when to link, and how to do it without overthinking or creating a mess. Well, here is what most beginners do when they start linking notes in Obsidian. They treat it like a game of Wikipedia. You make a note about active recall and link to your memory note about study technique. But after a few weeks, your world just look like this huge tangled mess, ton of long links but no clarity. And the worst part, you almost never click those links again. They just sit there, beautiful glowing blue text that doesn't actually help you think. I know this because I have been there too. When I first started, I thought linking was about creating as many connections as possible because that's what smart people do, right? But here is what I realized. If your links don't mean anything, they don't do anything. The real mistake isn't linking too much or too little, it's about linking without purpose. Most people are connecting words when they should be connecting ideas. My friend, linking is not about organization, it's about understanding. When you link one node to another, you are not just creating a shortcut, you are building a relationship between two ideas. And that's how real learning works, not by memorizing fact in isolation, but by seeing how one idea connect to another, how they build on each other, how they make sense together. Think about your brain for a second. Your brain doesn't store knowledge like folders on your computer. It stores it like a web, millions of neurons connecting and firing together. Each time you link a node, you are doing exactly what your brain does when it learns something new. By linking, you are saying these two thoughts belong together. And over time, those connections become stronger until you can see how everything you have learned fits into one big picture. That the moment Obsidian stop being an app and start feeling like an extension of your mind. So instead of thinking how many nodes I can link, start thinking what relationship between ideas do I want to grow. That's the shift from storing information to building understanding. And once you get that, your entire approach to note taking will change. Let's take a simple example. Let's say I'm learning programming. I start with one note called what is a function. Inside, I write a short explanation in my words, something like a function is like a small machine inside your code. You give it input, it does something and gives you output. Now, instead of leaving it as an isolated node, I think what other ideas connect to this. So I add a link to a note about variables because variables are often the input or output of a function. Then I link to a code reusability because that's one of the biggest reason functions are even exist. And maybe even problem solving because understanding how to break a big task into smaller reusable parts is exactly what programming and learning are about. Now look what happened. I didn't just make random links, I mapped how these ideas help each other make sense. And this is the key. You are not building a world of nodes, you are building a network of meaning. So every time you open Obsidian, it's not like walking into a cluttered folder. It's like walking through your own brain, one connection at a time. Now here is where everything start to click. When you start linking your nodes intentionally, something powerful happen. You begin to see your own thinking. Let's say a few weeks later I'm working on a new node, maybe learning through practice. And then I noticed that Obsidian automatically show me a backlink to my old notes about programming function. That's when it hit me. I realized that both notes are about repetition feedback and building understanding step by step. I didn't plan that connection, Obsidian revealed it to me. That's what backlinks do. They resurface relationship you didn't even had made. And honestly, this is my favorite part of using Obsidian, discovering my own thoughts. Sometimes I will find an idea that I wrote months ago that make perfect sense for what I'm learning right now. It feels like my past self left me breadcrumbs, a trail of thinking that keep me evolving over time. That is the real beauty of linking. You are not just collecting information, you are building a living system of knowledge that keeps growing with you. Well, here is the part no one really talk about, the emergence. Emergence is what happens when a bunch of small things start working together and create something new, something you couldn't have predicted from the part alone. In science, it's like how millions of tiny neurons create a single thoughts, and in Obsidian, it's how dozens of linked nodes can suddenly give birth to new insights or new idea. Let's say one day you are just connecting ideas, active recall to space repetition, focus to flow status, and then out of nowhere a patterns appear. A note you never wrote seems to form itself. That's called emergence. It's your system showing you connections your conscious mind missed. And that's when Obsidian stop being a vault of notes and start becoming a thinking partner. The benefit here, you no longer have to chase ideas, they start coming to you. Your notes begin resurfacing insights, projects, and creative links you didn't even plan. That's the quiet magic behind every truly connected world. You are not just storing information anymore, you are growing knowledge that teach back to you. Here is why all of this matters, because the way you take notes determine the way you think. Most people treat their notes like storage. They collect information, save it, and never see it again. And then they wonder, why am I forgetting what I'm learning? But linking change that. Every time you connect two ideas, you are building a bridge that makes it easier for your brain to recall, combine, and create new insights. If you are a student, this means you will remember things not as isolated facts, but as a connected concepts. If you are a lifelong learner, it means your world become a mirror of your growing understanding and a map of how your mind works. And that's what separates people who just consume information from those who build expertise. So if you have ever felt like your learning doesn't stick, start linking your notes, because your brain doesn't work like a filing cabinet, it works like a network. And the moment you start linking, your ideas start working with you. So, friend, now you know linking isn't just about organization, it's how you train a bunch of disconnected ideas into something that actually helps you think, learn, and grow. If that sounds helpful, don't stop here. Try to link your next few notes on purpose. Ask yourself, how do these ideas help each other make sense? And watch how your learning start to change. And if you want to go deeper, watch this next video in which I'm showing the exact system used by smart learners to take notes with Obsidian. Well, that's all I wanted to say for this video. Let's jump to the next one. See you there.